A major exercise is taking place in the Czech Republic with the Army and RAF training side by side. It's called Exercise Flying Rhino, with troops from Germany-based HQ One Division and the RAF's 14 Squadron. They're conducting live operations which will prepare them for work in Afghanistan. Forces News reporter Laura Hawkins has this report.
This is the Czech Republic, and for the last 3 weeks, approximately 1/3 of the country's airspace and many of the country's training ranges have been handed over for the British Army's biggest air-land integration exercise.
So, after 12 months of preparation, 2,000 British personnel, 600 vehicles and 7 nations, Exercise Flying Rhino is eventually underway. And here we have it, the Air Force integrating and training with the land forces. And the overall goal here is to create that air-minded soldier and the land-minded airman.
To form this smooth working relationship and carry out a successful joint operation, there are several key players working in the air and on the ground. First up, and at the very heart of this exercise, are the forward air controllers, of which 93 from Britain, Czech Republic and 5 other nations are being trained and tested.
We will coordinate the battle space. So if we want the aircraft to come through where the artillery rounds are actually prosecuting, we can stop the rounds, we develop the battle space so we can actually manoeuvre the aircraft around it.
We're going away to Herrick in October, and while we're out there we'll be doing close air support with forward air controllers on the ground, using escalation of force, so we'll go from basically a show of presence close to the ground and then moving on to a variety of weapons that we can deliver.
Inside the H90, the CP will send down the fire orders, and the 2 gunners in the back will load a shell on, then we'll pass a charge in. The number 2 will load the primer, which sets off the charge. The charge will go up, and it will close the breach, and on the order, fire.
As well as the action in the air and on the ground, one major benefit to the exercise is to test out the latest equipment, such as the upgraded Bowman kit.
We're able to have a much better appreciation of what's happening on the battlefield, who's engaging with what parts of the enemy and where they're actually located. The upgrade in Herrick will be delivered hopefully in January next year, in which case we will be the first brigade to use that uplift in anger. So it's imperative that we train on it now, get to grips with it and understand it.
But General McChrystal's recently issued guidelines in Afghanistan point to zero tolerance of sustaining civilian casualties. Exercise chiefs say this training is therefore made even more important, since if weapons are to be used, the results need to be spot on.
In order to provide a safe umbrella for our people to operate, although you may not be firing the weapon systems, you have to be prepared to do so, and you have to know that if you have to do so, it's safe to use.
The knocking of heads together on a grand scale can't help but dispel some of the myths the services have about each other, and in turn creates an armed forces that's far better placed to confront the enemy. Laura Hawkins, Forces News, Czech Republic.